Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But the peace of heaven could not last forever. From among the countless angels, one rose in rebellion. Before the clash of eternity, heaven was filled with perfect harmony. Radiant angels worshipped before the throne, singing, "Holy, holy, holy to the Lord Almighty." Yet deep within, rebellion stirred. A war unlike any ever seen was about to break forth, not a battle of swords alone, but of pride against humility, light against darkness, truth against lies. But who would stand for the Lord? Who would fight for righteousness when rebellion rose? Beloved, remember this. Even in heaven, war broke out, but before the battle, there was peace. This reminds us that every calm season prepares us for a test. Don't waste your peace. Use it to strengthen your faith, because trials will come. But take heart, for God has already chosen his champions. But who dared to challenge heaven's order? Who rose in pride to fight against the throne of God? Stay with me. The dragon is about to appear. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But the peace of heaven could not last forever. From among the countless angels, one rose in rebellion. The dragon, once glorious, now filled with pride and rage, stood defiant against the throne of God. His tail drew many with him, angels deceived by his lies. Dark clouds rolled across heaven's brightness, and whispers of defiance echoed through the ranks of the fallen. The dragon spread his wings, vast and terrible, covering the skies. His eyes blazed with fury as he prepared to fight against the Prince of Heaven. Beloved, see how pride transforms beauty into rebellion. The dragon was once among the glorious, yet he allowed arrogance to corrupt his heart. This reminds us that sin always begins with pride, the desire to rise above God's will. Guard your heart, for even the most gifted can fall when pride takes root. But if the dragon rose in fury, who would confront him? Who would stand as heaven's champion against this rebellion? Stay with me, for Michael, the great warrior of heaven, is about to rise. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and then he appeared. Michael, the great archangel, commander of the armies of heaven. His armor glowed with divine light, brighter than 10,000 suns. His sword, forged in the fire of God's word, shone with holy fire. Behind him stood legions of loyal angels, wings spread, shields gleaming, voices lifted in readiness for battle. Heaven's champion had risen. There would be no retreat, no surrender. The fate of heaven's peace now rested in this clash of eternity. Meditation. Beloved, remember this. When the enemy rises, God always raises a standard. Just as Michael stood against the dragon, so will God send his angels and his spirit to fight for you. You are never alone in your battles. The armies of heaven are on your side. But what happens when heaven's armies collide with the forces of rebellion? Will the dragon's fury prevail, or will Michael's sword bring victory? Stay with me. The clash of eternity is about to begin. Then it began, the greatest war ever witnessed in the heavens. Michael raised his sword, and with a thunderous cry, his angels charged. Across the skies the dragon roared, unleashing fire and fury, his fallen angels rushing into battle. The clash shook the foundations of heaven. blades of light against shadows of darkness, angel against angel, wings colliding, lightning flashing. The skies became a storm of fire and glory. The dragon fought fiercely, his rage shaking the heavens. Yet no matter how he struck, the armies of light did not break. Michael pressed forward, his sword blazing like a river of fire, declaring heaven's victory. Beloved, never forget, the real battle is not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities of darkness. The fight you face is spiritual, but just as Michael stood strong, you too are backed by the armies of heaven. Stand firm in prayer and know that light will always overcome darkness. The dragon fought with fury, but even his strength began to fail. What happens when the enemy loses his place in heaven? Stay with me? The fall is coming. The dragon fought with fury, his fire scorching the heavens, his wings beating with wrath. Yet, despite his strength, he could not prevail. The armies of heaven pressed on, and Michael's sword of light struck with power that shook eternity. Then came the moment of judgment. The dragon was cast out. No longer could he stand in heaven's courts. That ancient serpent, called the devil, Satan, the deceiver of the nations, was hurled down. Lightning tore the skies as he and his followers were cast from glory into the abyss below. Heaven rejoiced, but the earth trembled, for the dragon had fallen, and his rage would now be turned against mankind. The dragon has fallen, but his fury is not ended. What happens when his wrath turns upon the earth? Stay with me, for heaven has a loud announcement, and the world must listen.